On May 17, 2021, at approximately 9:42 p.m., a 911 dispatcher in Stockton, California, recorded a report of a vehicle driving without headlights. The vehicle, a silver 2006 Toyota Corolla registered to Arjun Sharma, was stopped 20 minutes later by officers Michael Cole and David Burns on Fremont Avenue near the intersection with North Pershing. The official police report states that the officers initiated the stop for a suspected traffic violation. Within 7 minutes, Arjun Sharma was dead, shot 11 times in front of his wife, Priya Sharma, who was sitting in the passenger seat. Arjun Sharma, 34, was an Indian immigrant who had lived in Stockton for 7 years. He worked as a mechanic at a local repair shop on Alpine Road. He lived with his wife, Priya, 30, and their 6-year-old daughter in a rented apartment in a modest 3-story residential building. Sharma had no criminal record. According to his employer, he was punctual, reserved, and preferred to avoid conflict. The official account submitted by officers Cole and Burns stated that during the stop, Sharma reached into the glove compartment despite verbal commands to keep his hands visible. Cole's statement indicated that Sharma retrieved a handgun, prompting both officers to open fire. The report noted that a 9mm pistol was recovered from the vehicle's floor near the driver's seat. Priya Sharma's statement to investigators contradicted the officer's version. She testified that her husband had been looking for his registration papers. Her initial statement to Internal Affairs described that Arjun didn't have any weapon and was trying to explain. However, the transcript shows inconsistencies. During a second interview 2 days later, she hesitated when asked whether she saw a gun. Under questioning, she answered, "I don't know, maybe something fell." Investigators noted her emotional instability and language difficulties during the interview. The case was assigned to Detective Paul Hanks of the Stockton Police Department's Major Crimes Division. Hanks had 22 years of service and a reputation as a meticulous investigator. The investigation concluded that the officers acted in self-defense. The district attorney accepted the internal findings and closed the case as a justified use of force on June 28, 2021. Journalist Ashley Grant, 37, a freelance investigator with a background in police accountability cases, began reviewing the incident 2 months later. Grant's involvement was personal. Her brother had been killed by police in 2014 in a disputed shooting. She specialized in analyzing use-of-force data and departmental records. Grant obtained access to the Stockton Police Department's public records through the California Public Records Act. Among the documents was an evidence log listing the recovered handgun, a Taurus PT-111, serial number T, LG 7329. A cross-reference with the department's property records revealed a discrepancy. That serial number matched a firearm listed as secured evidence in a 2017 narcotics case, stored in the department's evidence warehouse under case file 17-4932. The entry noted the weapon as disposed in 2019, but the disposal form lacked a signature and date stamp. Grant verified through the state database that the weapon had never been registered to Sharma or any member of his household. She contacted a retired property clerk, Daniel Owens, who confirmed that any firearm marked for destruction was typically logged out only under supervisory approval. Owens reviewed the record and noted that the initials beside the disposed entry matched Detective Hanks's handwriting. In her written notes, Grant summarized the contradiction. Weapon recovered from Sharma vehicle, same serial as property room item, marked destroyed. Who authorized removal? She requested access to the chain of custody forms for the 2017 narcotics file. The department denied the request, citing ongoing reviews. Meanwhile, the county autopsy confirmed 11 entry wounds. Toxicology reports showed no drugs or alcohol in Sharma's system. Gunshot residue tests on both hands were negative. The report concluded that he had not fired a weapon before death. Priya Sharma's clothing tested positive for residue, consistent with proximity to the discharge, but not with handling a firearm. Grant visited the auto repair shop where Sharma had worked. His supervisor, Mark Tillman, recalled that Sharma was scared of the police and mentioned trouble after some argument. However, Tillman provided no further details. On August 9, 2021, Grant interviewed Priya Sharma at her apartment. Priya repeated that her husband did not own a gun and that she had never seen one in the home or the car. She added that after the shooting, officers detained her for 5 hours before informing her that her husband was dead. When Grant asked about possible conflicts or threats before the incident, Priya paused and said, "He talked about problems at work, something with police officers coming there." In early September 2021, 3 months after the Stockton shooting, journalist Ashley Grant located a potential intermediary willing to speak about the Sharma case off record. The contact was Vikram Patel, 38, Priya Sharma's brother-in-law, living in Fremont, California. Patel had helped Priya with legal paperwork and temporary guardianship of her daughter during the internal affairs review. During the first meeting, he hesitated to discuss the events preceding the shooting, saying only that Arjun had been involved with something he shouldn't have seen. A week later, Patel called Grant again, agreeing to a recorded statement. His testimony marked the first detailed account of a motive behind Arjun Sharma's death. According to Patel, 3 months before the shooting, Arjun told him that 2 police officers had been using his auto shop after hours. Arjun described seeing them exchange sealed packages taken from a black department SUV to a civilian vehicle. He believed the contents were narcotics. Patel said Arjun wanted to report the activity. Priya, aware of his immigration status pending permanent residency, urged him not to get involved, fearing deportation or retaliation. Patel quoted Priya as saying, "If you report them, they will come for us." Arjun refused to remain silent and later contacted a local precinct anonymously. Patel could not confirm the date of the call, but stated it was around March or April. Grant corroborated Patel's account through phone logs supplied by Priya's attorney. One entry on March 24th showed a 2-minute call from Arjun's prepaid phone to the Stockton Police Department's general tip line. The call was not officially logged under his name. 3 weeks before the fatal traffic stop, the Sharmas began receiving late-night calls from unknown numbers. Records from Priya's mobile provider confirmed multiple incoming calls from blocked IDs between April 22nd and May 1st. Priya told Patel the callers remained silent or whispered phrases like, "Stay quiet." Priya also noticed coded chalk markings on the side of their garage door. She initially thought it was graffiti, but Arjun believed the symbols indicated surveillance or threat. He repainted the door twice, but the markings reappeared within days. At the auto repair shop, Grant interviewed Tommy Weller, 29, a co-worker who had worked alongside Sharma for 4 years. Weller recalled that after April, Arjun frequently checked outside before closing the shop and often expressed fear of being followed. He said Sharma once told him, "If something happens to me, look at the police first." Another witness, James Lockett, 46, a neighbor living across from the Sharmas' apartment, provided similar observations. Lockett stated that unmarked vehicles occasionally idled near the building late at night. He described two white men in plain clothes sitting inside, not moving, just watching. He remembered noting a partial license plate, but discarded it after the shooting. Grant compiled these statements and compared them to official patrol logs. The department had no record of surveillance assignments in that area during the relevant dates. On October 3, 2021, further examination of court archives revealed that Arjun Sharma had testified 3 months before his death, on February 10th, as a witness in a narcotics corruption trial involving Officer Stephen Summers. The case had received minimal attention and was resolved through a plea deal. The transcript of Sharma's brief testimony confirmed he had identified Summers as one of two individuals transferring boxes from a department vehicle at his auto shop. Sharma described the second person only as taller, wearing dark gloves. The investigation in that earlier case had been led by Detective Paul Hanks, the same officer who would later oversee the inquiry into Sharma's death. The second suspect in the video was never identified, and Summers ultimately accepted a plea agreement for evidence tampering, serving a reduced sentence. Grant requested the video evidence from that trial. The footage, dated December 14, 2020, came from a security camera inside the repair shop. The quality was poor, but two silhouettes were visible. The first was clearly Summers, identified by his gait and uniform. The second appeared taller by several inches and wore a cap pulled low. Despite Sharma's insistence that two people were involved, Hanks's investigation concluded that Summers had acted alone. Grant cross-referenced the officers listed in the narcotics task force at that time. Both Cole and Summers were assigned to the same unit under Hanks's command between 2017 and 2019. Internal department rosters confirmed that Cole was suspended for 3 weeks in late 2018 for unauthorized handling of seized property. The incident was closed as a procedural violation. On October 28, 2021, 3 weeks after her last interview with Priya Sharma, Ashley Grant received an anonymous phone call from a blocked number. The voice on the line was distorted, male, and short of breath. The caller said only one sentence before hanging up. "Cole is executor, not brain." The words were recorded automatically by Grant's digital voice log. The call lasted 7 seconds. Grant treated the call as potentially significant. She checked the timestamp and traced it to a public phone outside a grocery store in Lodi, 15 miles from Stockton. Surveillance from the store's parking lot cameras confirmed a male figure wearing a hooded sweatshirt, using the phone at the exact time of the call. The image quality was insufficient for identification, but it established that the caller was local. Grant's next step was to revisit the December 2020 video from the Summers case in which Arjun Sharma had testified. The footage had been copied to the district evidence database, and she obtained a clearer version using digital enhancement software. Frame-by-frame analysis confirmed Sharma's original observation. The second individual was taller than Summers by approximately 4 inches. During the handoff of boxes, a metallic reflection appeared on the person's right hand. Zoom analysis identified it as a ring, wide-banded, with engraved initials, most likely 2 capital letters. Grant began searching for images of personnel connected to that narcotics unit. Department archives contained a photo from a 2016 awards ceremony showing Detective Paul Hanks and Officer Stephen Summers receiving commendations. Hanks was taller, wearing a silver ring on his right hand. The ring displayed the letters PH. Grant noted the visual correspondence between the ring in the photo and the reflection in the video frame. To confirm, she consulted a digital forensic specialist who compared the two images. The specialist's report stated that the probability of visual match between the two rings exceeds 85% based on proportion and reflective pattern. Grant expanded her inquiry into Hanks's financial history. Public property records indicated that Hanks owned a single-family residence in Tracy, California, with no mortgage liens. His annual salary during 2015 was approximately $98,000. Yet court filings from 2016 revealed that he had paid $340,000 in hospital expenses related to his wife's cancer treatment. The payment was listed as cash in full. No bank loans or insurance reimbursements were recorded. On November 4, 2021, Grant received a second anonymous call. This time, the background noise included a baby crying and a television. The voice was shaky but recognizable from prior interviews. Officer Michael Cole. He spoke for just under a minute. The transcript read, "Hanks controlled everything 15 years. Summers was the first sacrifice. Now he's sacrificing me. I can't stop it. They'll make me disappear too." The call ended abruptly with a click. Grant attempted to call the number back, but it was inactive. She confirmed that Cole was still on administrative duty, pending civil review of the Sharma shooting. The police department issued no public comment about his status. Using the new information, Grant reconstructed the internal hierarchy. Hanks as the consistent supervisor of evidence disposal, narcotics cases, and internal investigations. Summers and Cole as operational level officers implicated at different times. The financial irregularities and reappearing evidence suggested an ongoing system of illicit redistribution of seized drugs for profit. During this period, Priya Sharma contacted Grant again, distressed about a new development. On November 9th, Priya received an unmarked parcel at her apartment. Inside was a printed photograph of her daughter leaving elementary school and a note reading, "Go back to your country." The envelope carried no return address. Priya turned it over to the local precinct, but no suspect was identified. Grant requested to see the note and compared it with Hanks's known handwriting from departmental forms obtained earlier. Forensic handwriting software indicated multiple consistent characteristics: identical slant, pressure, and loop structure in letters G and Y. The report concluded that the same hand could not be excluded as the author. Grant recorded in her notes, "Priya targeted. Threat aligns with pattern of intimidation used against potential witnesses. Handwriting similarity to Hanks, consistent with prior signatures." On January 12, 2022, Ashley Grant published her investigation under the title, "The Evidence That Never Died." The report detailed connections between Detective Paul Hanks, officers Michael Cole and Stephen Summers, and a 15-year pattern of misused narcotics evidence inside the Stockton Police Department. Within 24 hours, the Federal Bureau of Investigation opened a formal inquiry into departmental corruption. Agents from the Sacramento field office executed search warrants at the department's property warehouse and at Hanks's residence in Tracy. During interviews conducted by federal agents, Officer Cole requested legal representation and then agreed to cooperate. His recorded statement, later entered as Exhibit 14A, confirmed that Hanks had operated a controlled narcotics resale scheme since 2006. According to Cole, seized drugs designated for destruction were diverted through intermediaries and resold using civilian contacts. The revenue was split among participating officers. Cole stated that 8 civilian distributors, including Hanks's nephew, had moved product through a network of small dealers across San Joaquin County. The operation generated approximately $4.7 million over 15 years. Cole described Hanks as the architect and enforcer of the system. "He kept everyone in line through assignments," Cole said in his deposition. If you crossed him, he'd put you on internal review or set you up. When Summers was filmed during the 2020 transfer, Hanks decided to sacrifice him to protect the broader structure. Cole claimed that Arjun Sharma's security footage jeopardized the operation because it showed both Summers and Hanks at the scene. Cole recounted the sequence that led to Sharma's death. After Sharma repeatedly contacted the department demanding progress on his complaint, Hanks decided to neutralize the problem. He retrieved the Taurus pistol from the evidence vault, previously logged under his control, and instructed Cole to plant it in Sharma's vehicle during a staged stop. Burns, newly assigned to patrol and unaware of the plan, was told that Sharma was armed and dangerous. During the stop, Hanks monitored radio traffic remotely. Cole's account stated, "When Arjun reached for his papers, Burns panicked. I fired first, then he did. It wasn't supposed to go that way." The FBI corroborated Cole's confession through storage logs, financial transfers, and communication records. Search of Hanks's home computer revealed spreadsheets listing narcotics weights and coded initials of distributors. Investigators located offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands containing $2.4 million, traced to cash deposits corresponding with known narcotics destruction dates. On February 3, 2022, Hanks was arrested at his residence without incident. During questioning, he denied all allegations and claimed the funds were inheritance from extended family. Forensic review found no documentation supporting that claim. The indictment issued on March 21 charged him with conspiracy, obstruction of justice, evidence tampering, and murder under color of authority. Cole was charged with second-degree murder and conspiracy. Burns faced negligent homicide, but was later granted immunity for cooperation regarding procedural misconduct. The trial began on August 2, 2022, in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of California. Over 8 weeks, jurors heard testimony from 26 witnesses, including Priya Sharma, departmental clerks, and forensic analysts. The prosecution presented records of Hanks's falsified disposal reports, bank deposits, and the chain of custody linking the pistol to his signature. Cole's testimony formed the core narrative of the operation. The defense attempted to discredit Ashley Grant's methods, arguing her private investigation compromised evidence integrity. The judge ruled her findings admissible due to corroboration by federal investigators. The verdict delivered on September 30, 2022, found Hanks guilty on all counts. He received a 25-year federal sentence. Cole was sentenced to 18 years after accepting responsibility. Burns received 5 years probation for procedural violations and falsified reports. The city of Stockton settled Priya Sharma's civil suit for $3.8 million in April 2023. The settlement acknowledged departmental liability for wrongful death and evidence manipulation. Following the settlement, Priya lost her position as a medical aide after repeated absences related to court proceedings. Her daughter experienced harassment at school, with other parents referring to her father as the mechanic who fought the cops. Priya's family in India urged her to return permanently, but she remained in California.